Greetings and welcome to today's video, which explores the troubling world of the film Code 8 Part 2. 4% of the population possess extraordinary abilities. Society has adapted, integrating these powers into the workforce. However, as technology advanced, these powers became obsolete, leading to mass unemployment. The emergence of a dangerous street drug, psych, derived from the spinal fluid of those with powers, has fueled crime and conflict. The city's police force was equipped with robotic officers called guardians, faced public scrutiny for their lethal methods in handling powered individuals. In next 5 years, a push for reform emerges, with plans to replace guardians with non-lethal robotic canines, similar to dogs. After the operation's initial success, City Hall approved the development of approximately 200 canine units, which eventually lowered the city's crime rate. The story unfolds the next set of events happening 5 years after the movie, Code 8. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe. Connor Reed, with powers of electric abilities, has just been released from a 5-year prison sentence. Garrett Kelton, his old partner, shows up with a car, but Connor refuses to get in, and Garrett leaves. Tarek and Pavani, siblings, both powered individuals, discuss about a special program at her school. Tarek realizes she needs to buy books for it. However, they are currently running low on money. Tarek encourages Pav not to worry and to do well in her examinations. He will arrange money for her books. Garrett has taken over an apartment complex to run his ethical drug business, which pays powered people for their spinal fluid to produce the drug psych. Tarek works for Garrett as a drug runner. He tried to impress Garrett with his stealth powers in the hopes of getting a raise, but Garrett wasn't interested. Outside the apartment, the police department displays their friendly canine units, with Sergeant King Kingston overseeing. King and Garrett exchange a look before carrying on with their duties. King gives a speech, emphasizing the safety of robot dog units over guardians, demonstrating their ability to detain rather than harm. He explains, if someone puts their hands up, it stands down. King is now utilizing his popularity to promote his campaign for union president. As the demo ends, the canine unit oddly focuses on Pavani. She suspects something and her eyes start glowing. Garrett prepares tax money in a bag, and 2 gang members drive off in a car to drop it off. Tarek, using his power to hide, follows on a bicycle. They drop off the money and leave. Desperate Tarek manages to break the lock and steal the money. However, a police vehicle with King and his unit of corrupt cops arrives who are being paid off, so Tarek hides. Officer Sorelli spots him and they send a K-9 to cover it up. Tarek hides in a warehouse and escapes using his powers but gets tased by a K-9 unit just before reaching home. Despite surrendering, the robot injects a lethal dose of psych to make it look like an overdose, killing Tarek. It was controlled remotely, commanded by King through Sorelli. Meanwhile, Pav reaches there and witnesses the murder. The robot dog approaches her, but it malfunctions. Connor takes on a janitor job at the Lincoln City Community Center to start fresh. Officer Davis meets Connor and requests his assistance with the case, but Connor declines. Davis leaves his card behind. The kind elderly director, Mina, was good friends with Connor's late mother and took him under her wing. Connor finds Pav taking shelter at the community center. At the station, King sees footage of the malfunctioning robot, and LCPD starts searching for Pav, eventually reaching the community center. With Mina's help, Connor and Pav try to escape, but gets caught on a security camera. King meets Garrett and asks about Connor's location, but he refuses. Connor hides Pav in his apartment, where she becomes enraged upon seeing King lie about his brother's death from a psych overdose on TV, and uses her power to turn it off. She can now hear the police radios. A police squad arrives at Connor's apartment. but they manage to escape. Outside, two guardians try to stop them, but Connor disables them with his power, while Pav disables a pursuing drone using her own abilities. Connor seeks help from Garrett to take Pav to a safe place. Garrett explains the deal between him and LCPD, and he suggests the only solution to this is wiping Pav's memory of the murder. Pav agrees to go, with Connor accompanying her. They go meet a mind wiper, and she starts working on her. But Connor realizes the mind wiper is erasing every single memory she has of her brother. He fights to break her free. Once escaped from there, they turn to Mina and attempt to flee the city together. A police drone spots their car. King instructs to take the drone off grid and everyone to go for a coffee break, other than his trusted corrupt cops, and notifies Garrett of their location, also launching two guardians in that location to handle things. Connor and the others get ambushed by Garrett and his crew. Connor steps in front of Mina and Pav to stop Garrett from shooting them. Connor persuades Garrett to stand down, but King commands the guardians to kill everyone there. Garrett is shot in his shoulder, and his gang members get killed by the guardians. Mina, using her power of thick skin, creates a diversion, and Garrett, Connor, Pav escapes from there. King reaches the places and tries to get location of the others from Mina. She refuses to give any details and dies. Garrett takes them to a safe house, and they manage to get the bullet out of his shoulder. The place is his childhood orphanage. Detective Davis tracks them down, and they realize that the only way to stop King and his crimes is to expose him in the media. Pav reveals that King had recorded everything on the K9 unit, which could be crucial evidence. Davis explains that the K9 unit that attacked Pav the night of her brother's murder is King's personal unit, always stationed at his home to protect evidence. Connor and Garrett decide to visit King's house to retrieve the robot containing the recordings. They pose as union representatives to gain access to the house while Pav waits in the car. King arrives at the house, and they keep King occupied inside. Pav sneaks into the garage and activates the K9 unit, sending a signal to the police station. When Sorelli tries to contact King over the phone, his wife answers it. Meanwhile, Connor searches for Pav, and together they manage to steal the robot before making their escape. During Garrett's conversation with King, it's revealed that King possesses telekinetic powers similar to Garrett's. In a sudden turn, King tries to attack Garrett with a knife, showcasing his cunning nature. It's then uncovered that King had deceived everyone, even his own wife, and managed to infiltrate the LCPD. After stealing the K9 unit, Connor, Garrett, and Pav flee to the towers. However, Garrett has a change of heart and decides not to release the incriminating footage. Instead, he plans to use it as leverage against King to manipulate the LCPD. In response, King sends all the corrupt cops under his command to the towers to retrieve the stolen unit. Garrett keeps the unit's head containing the footage while returning the body. He attempts to negotiate with King, but King, unwilling to compromise, stabs Garrett in the stomach, ordering his team to search the building for the stolen head. Connor devises a plan and, with Pav's help, decides to utilize the media van parked outside the tower to broadcast the footage contained within the head. However, as they prepare to execute their plan, King and his officers infiltrate the towers and ambush the group. In the chaos, Garrett's colleagues sacrifice themselves to allow Connor and Pav to escape, bravely stalling the cops. Despite orders for non-lethal force, King uses his power and fatally shoots one of the men. Cops overpower the group and arrest them. As Connor and Pav attempt to escape, a lone K9 unit tracks them down. Despite Connor's failed attempt to disable it with an electric attack, the K9 unit attacks him in the hallway, injecting a lethal dose of psych. Before it can kill Connor, Pav intervenes and takes control of the K9 unit. Just then, King's trusted officer, Sorelli, arrives with another K9 unit. Pav uses the controlled robot dog to neutralize the second one. But Sorelli, startled, pulls out his gun and fires at the approaching robot. In the chaos, Pav accidentally gets shot in the stomach. Connor regains his senses and carries Pav out of the building. Facing officers with guns pointed at them, a K-9 unit attacks, but Garrett disables it using his power. Officer Davis arrives and takes control of the situation. Connor uses his power to activate the hard drive in the stolen head, while injured Pav transfers the data to the media camera, broadcasting the recordings from King's personal K-9 unit, bringing justice for her brother's death. Seeing this, King exits from the building and attempts to shoot them. Garrett confronts him, allowing Davis to arrest King. Connor takes over Miss Mina's community center and reopens it for the neighborhood children. Pav survives and joins Connor in managing the center. With King's crimes exposed, he is stripped of his title and found guilty of orchestrating bribery schemes in downtown Lincoln. The Attorney General launches a thorough investigation into the K-9 program, suspecting other individuals' involvement in corruption. The community has been deeply affected by brutal crimes from authority figures over the past few years. In response, City Hall passes a bill to provide financial aid to the Monument Hill community. But now, as there is no one controlling the drug, because of Garrett and King's arrests, there's a rise in psych circulation in Lincoln City, posing a fresh challenge for law enforcement. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notification so you can watch more videos like this. Hey, thanks for watching.